Okay, let's finish our orange family of the color wheel. And we've got everything, but we have orange and red orange left. And we have the red orange and the orange that we had pre-mixed earlier when we mixed the yellow orange. And so that they would be right in a row. And let's go ahead and mix up some shades and tints. So first of all, we need some zinc white. We've got some out there. And I was thinking we might need a little bit more, especially for the when we get into the red orange. So let's take some with our clean palette knife, and let's go ahead and mix some mother orange into it. And that wasn't very much, and so that might even be our first step down. So I'm going to go ahead and take some more of this. I'll take the white first because I have a clean palette knife. I want to clean for getting the orange as well. And I'm going to go ahead and add some into it. And remember that zinc isn't a very strong tinter, and so I need quite a bit. So I might even make this as our first step down. I don't think so. I think I'm gonna go down further. Sometimes mixing paint makes you completely indecisive. And we're going to go ahead and jump off a board. It's a little bit dry out there, so our paints are drying kind of quickly. So I want to make sure I keep them wet, especially if I have to match colors that I ran out of, because when you try to match colors that are dry with wet paint, it's really hard. It's very hard to do. There's a lot of nerds in this, and nerds are, when the paint dries, it gets a skim on it, and the skin will kind of leave little flakes of dried paint in it, so it's not a really good thing to paint with or to mix with. And so I'm getting some clean, not so dry zinc white. And this one, I don't need very much of it, but I need it to be an even step down. And as you can see, it's not quite an even step down. We almost fell off the cliff to get to this one. And so let's go ahead and steal some from here and add it to it. And still, I think we can step down a little further. And even further. Slowly. You don't want to go too fast, or you might be mixing a lot of paint. And give it a little bit, step down further. Let's kind of clean up what's around the second tint. And I don't know. I want to make sure I don't get more white into here, because I like that color and I think it's perfect. So now, how are we doing for this one? Still a bit of a bigger jump down, so I'm going to keep scraping up a little bit at a time and adding to it. If I get bored or antsy and I add too much, I'll be having to go back and redo the other ones, and I don't want to. And I feel like that's a pretty good jump between these guys. So I'm going to go ahead and make some room and grab my color wheel and my paintbrush and go ahead and put this on here. So here we go, painting it right on. And I don't know if I'm in a place where you guys can see or not. So I'll go ahead and move it and put it on. And then rinse my brush and put on some more. And I did mix a lot of paint this time. I always wonder if I have to give it 2 coats, and I'd rather have too much paint than too little. It gets quiet when I start painting. So I do have extra paint, so if anybody wants to come over and get it from me, you can. And then, for our mother color of yellow, I mean orange, I think I'm getting tired. And I have a lot of mother color left because I have to mix my shades. Okay, so let's go ahead and mix up our shades. Get a little bit more on here. I might come back and give this another coat. I might not. It might dry just fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and mix some shades. I'm going to take these awesome tints of orange, and I'm going to put them back here where I just squirted in case I need them to stay nice and wet. And so when I'm getting the paint off my palette knife, I like it on the very end of it, and I squish it down, and you can see that my palette knife is fairly clean when I do that. So let's go ahead and scrape and clean this with a scraper, and wipe off my scraper too because I don't want the paint to dry on it. And we're going to go ahead and get our tints ready. Our shades ready. Our tints are already done. Okay, so I have that alizarin crimson and black that I mixed earlier, and I don't want my orange to go green, so I'm going to go ahead and take some out, maybe take a couple piles of it, and go ahead and start taking my paint down in value. And I want enough paint to work with, and so I'll mix a little bit more because that was a little bit skimpy, and I feel like in taking a little bit more, I had a pretty good jump down to that one. So now we're going to take some more, and we're going to make another jump down. And since I have 2 jumps to go, it's okay to make this one even darker at first, because then I can put the middle jump in. And I think I'm jumping really well right now. Okay, so let's see if I can get lucky on my last jump. And that one might have been a little bit much, but actually, you know, I kind of like it. I think that works really well. So that one went quick. Thanks for you guys being here, giving me good luck. And I'm going to go ahead and paint my my shades in. And I'm going to start with the darkest one first, because I don't know why, I just am. Again, don't worry about it going over because I'm going to cut it out anyway. Okay. Then we're going to get our shade number 2 on here. And shade number 2 kind of looks a little bit like burnt sienna. So we just made a hue of burnt sienna. Something that's not actually burnt sienna, but mixes it to look like it. And then, oops, I could use a little bit more here. So if I don't have much paint on my paintbrush and I go to paint it, I'm actually taking paint off. So make sure that you have enough paint on your paintbrush that you're actually applying paint with it. If you can see that, it's actually applying it. And also how heavy you're pushing against the paint that's on there, because paint is mud and it moves around just like dirt or mud, and it will move around according to how you're pushing it if it's thick. And we'll see what this looks like when it's dry. The orange, mother orange, and the tints of orange look like they're almost dry, so they're a little bit different right now. And there we go. We have it. I'll probably give it a little bit more of a coat in a few minutes when it's dry, and then I will come back and we will mix our red orange.